People ask me all the time, how can you take care of dying children? And the answer is evolving. When I was in medical school and then residency in pediatrics and then a neonatology fellow, I was really raised in a culture where death was the enemy. We had to do our best and fight to the end to save every baby's life. But I came to understand that some babies are just not going to live. When babies died, I was very angry, very frustrated that we couldn't save this baby because it just didn't seem right that babies had to die. And I couldn't do anything about it. I felt very helpless and impotent in some ways. And after several years, I came to understand that some babies are not meant to live. It's not my fault. I think doctors are very emotionally constipated, if you will. The latest case is a little boy named Maddox, who is 6.5 years old, who told all of us, his parents and us, his caregivers, how he wanted to live his life. Even though he was autistic with a terminal illness called mitochondrial disease, at 6.5, he could say, I want to go see Jackson, my brother, in heaven. Because Jackson, his older brother, died earlier in that same year. They're not a religious family. They didn't go to church. He couldn't tolerate really going to church because his temperature regulation and, he couldn't leave the house for very long. And so the parents kept saying, well, do you really want to go to heaven? Because mommy and daddy can't go with you. And kept trying to offer other ways to think about it and all the things that he would miss, that he wouldn't have in heaven. And he kept saying he still wanted to go to heaven, even though he knew his mom and dad wouldn't be there. So the parents had to hear this message for several months before they really were convinced that Maddox understood what he was saying and that he was very serious, because they did not want to let him go. They were not ready, especially after losing Jackson just 6 months before. 2 sons in the same year. Maddox also told his parents he wanted to have Christmas early, and so they actually celebrated Christmas on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving wasn't a big holiday in that family because neither child could eat food. He said he wanted to see Santa Claus, and so the family arranged for Magic Mountain to be opened up the day before Thanksgiving at 5 o'clock in the morning. And Santa was there, and they made snow, and he rode in Santa's sleigh. Maddox only had 1 hour of time where he was really alert, awake, and not in pain from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. And so Magic Mountain was open from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. for Maddox and his parents to see Santa and see snow. Even knowing that the next week they were going to stop the intravenous food and allow Maddox to die. People come into this work very enthusiastic, and rightfully so, but it is such hard work. So I encourage people to be patient with themselves, to acknowledge their emotions, acknowledge their humanity. We will teach them the medical piece, but the emotional piece is what's really difficult, and being very self-aware and self-reflective. Those of us that do the work are ordinary people that get to do extraordinary work. We just need to keep showing up and show that we're not afraid.